I'm Brianna Gottberg, a senior on the volleyball team. I would like to thank all of our current PEF members for your support of the Bears Club. Your contributions have made it possible for me and other student athletes here at Lenoir-Rhyne to fulfill our dreams of participating in intercollegiate athletics. If you are not currently a Bears Club member, I hope you will take this opportunity to join our team today. Thanks again for your support, and go Bears!
Thank you, John. Before we look forward to Wingate here coming up this Saturday, just a quick reflection on last week. Playing University of Faith, obviously, it was a good day, and it was a good day for a lot of reasons, not because of what the final score ended up being, but it was good that we got a lot of young players in the game that had not played college football before, and got some of our twos, threes, fours. Every player that dressed down was eligible to play for that game. That we weren't redshirting. Every player got in that football game and participated, and that made for a nice practice Sunday. A lot of great for team morale. A lot of guys got in there, and we got some great tape and evaluations on some young players that really stepped up and showed some things in that contest. I thought offensively, our starters were out there in the first quarter. But when our backups came in, and there were some guys that played well. I thought Callan Gillison up front, the offensive line, came well, given an opportunity. I thought Tony Patman did some good things. The guard coming in, given the opportunity. And then you saw Robbie Hooks at B-back, who he just moved to B-back last week, get in there, and you could see he has some breakaway speed and some explosiveness at the B-back position. DeQuan Paulin, DQ as we call him, DeQuan Paulin had a great game at slot, scoring 3 touchdowns. Did some nice things, catching a wheel route and making a play for a touchdown, and finished some runs, which was great to see for DQ. Brandon Smith showed some nice things on the perimeter as well, and Brandon's always had a lot of potential. He's just been a guy that's had a hard time staying healthy, but when he is healthy, he's an excellent player, and he's physical and he's explosive. So offense, I thought Tyler Williams came in and did a nice job. He lost one ball in the option game, but he played well with the exception of the turnover. And then Caleb Scott came in and played well as our third string quarterback, playing a good chunk of that second half. So again, a lot of good things there offensively. I thought defensively, again, anytime you pitch a shutout, there's a lot of good things going on. I thought we played physical and played fast. That's something to build on going forward. Our linebackers, Jordan Forney and Tanner Robinson, played particularly well up front. And then we got a lot of other guys playing time, and it was great to see. There's too many names to mention, but a lot of guys were out there, and I thought really stepped up given their opportunities. In the kicking game, I was really encouraged. Pat Rendelman had an excellent punt return. We've been waiting to see that out of Pat. That was good to see in a game condition, not just in practice. And then I was impressed with how Walker Harrison came in and kicked the ball on the PAT field goals. We had 12 opportunities on the PAT, and I think Walker he was 7 for his last 7, and the ball was really coming off his foot well, and he did a nice job giving his opportunity for a redshirt freshman. So that speaks well to the future there at that position. So again, it was a fun day. It was a good day. We did what we needed to do. I thought it was much better than having a bye week. Kept us in game rhythm. Got a lot of guys snaps, and there was, like I said, a lot of our guys really enjoyed that, and we're thankful that Faith came up and made the trip. Looking forward to Wingate. Big game for a lot of different reasons. Obviously, every game in the conference is meaningful, but this one particularly so. It's homecoming here at Lenoir-Rhyne. We're gonna have a big crowd. It's gonna get another home game between the bricks. We love being at home, with Bear Nation supporting us, and we have a good football team coming to meet us. You look at Wingate, and Coach Reich does a phenomenal job with that program. They are physical, and they are fundamentally sound, and they're imposing. You look at their defense right now. Defensively, they're the number 1 scoring defense in the nation. All right, that's halfway through the season. Okay, they're giving up 9 points a game. So it's hard to move the ball forward against this group, so I think we have a tall task in front of us from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, they have some playmakers. They've been very committed to running the ball with Pittman, who's an excellent player. They're playing physical up front, and they have some guys that can break your heart outside that are some playmakers, and then they have an athlete at quarterback in Kyle Johnson, who's a Hickory product. So we all around here know Kyle and the family. So ton of respect for Wingate and what they do. Their DNA as a program. They're playing very well right now. They had a setback last week. It was their first loss. They were ranked in the top 25 a week ago. But we know how tricky it is to go up to Tusculum and play there. We almost got tripped up as well up there. So again, we're anxious to get to this Saturday. Again, regional TV, another reason to be excited on American Sports Network. And it's going to be a fun day. Kickoff's at 12:06 this Saturday. So everyone's going to just have to get up a little bit earlier to get their tailgating going. With that, I'll take any questions going back to our exhibition game last week with Faith, or looking forward here certainly to Wingate.
Regardless of the opponent this past Saturday, were some of the performances you saw from some of your guys give you the impression that they might see further playing time down the stretch this season, or are we gonna, from now on, stick with the usual crowd?
Yeah, we're gonna stick with the usual crowd. We had some guys step in and did perform, and you raise your eyebrow and you wonder, okay, well that's a little better than we thought we might have seen. There were some guys that put their best foot forward given those opportunities. So more so, I thought it was just looking towards the future of some of those redshirt freshmen and sophomores that hadn't been out there before. Hey, this guy's gonna, the arrow's pointed up still in some cases. So that was encouraging. We didn't play a few starters in that contest, obviously, as well. At center, for instance, we sat Dale Howard out. He was a little nicked up after the Carson Newman game. But Ryan Henry came in, and Ryan Henry played exceptionally well up front, which is another name up front. And Ryan now has played tackle, guard, and center, and he's a young player. So, again, it just helps our depth. Isaac Saxon came back and started that game off at left guard, and Joe Ray was out. So again, a lot of experience to be had, and for our guys, it was a great reward for some of the guys that just hadn't been playing, and get a chance to go out there, like I said, with a crowd and the scoreboard lights on, and actually get a chance to compete against someone in a different color jersey.
From what you've seen on tape with Wingate's defense, 9 points per game is no joke. What really makes it click for them especially on that scoring defense?
Well, it's accumulation of a lot of things. I think they're exceptionally well coached. I think they're fundamentally sound. I think they play hard. I think they're physical up front. I think they run well on the back end. So you put all that together, and that's how you have the best scoring defense in the country. It's all in place. They're strong and physical up front, and they're hard to move around, and they have some experience on the second level. I think Maples is one of the better linebackers in the conference, if not at the top of the stack. And the same can be said about some of the guys in the secondary. So it's a huge challenge for us, and we haven't faced anyone like them yet. So I think. Like I said, that's where the rubber's going to meet the road a little bit. Is our offense against their defense is an interesting matchup, and conversely, their offense against our defense. That's football, and then the kicking game always gets lost in the shuffle, and that'll probably decide it.
I heard some of the guys talking earlier this week about how they heard that Wingate devotes part of their practice to plan specifically for playing a triple option team. How would you respond knowing that they're devoting part of their practice specifically for LA?
Well, I don't know anything about that. I have a hard enough time coaching one team, let alone two teams. I do know that that's standard practice for anyone probably in our conference, with Carson, Newman, Brevard, and us all being option offenses. I think it'd be foolish not to prepare for the option year round if you are in this conference.
Coach, it's homecoming this week, obviously. A lot of distractions, a lot of things going on all week long, 20-some activities. What kind of things do you do to try to block out some of those distractions to keep the players focused?
Well, we try to insulate our players from some of those distractions as best as possible. And again, it's a broken record, but we have one game to play this week. Our goal is to be 1-0, and we have to have a steely-eyed focus towards that mission. So I don't think there'll be many of our guys that are going to be playing this Saturday, they'll be distracted. They know what's coming to town, and they know how prepared and detailed and poised will need to be to compete with this team coming here.
More than halfway through the season now. Is success down the stretch going to come from more of the same that you've been preaching throughout the first half of the season, or are you still looking for one or two pieces to be implemented to the overall picture of your team's success?
Yeah, well, there's always room for improvement, and like I said, there's always, as Neil McGahee, our esteemed athletic director, would say, there is no finish line. We're continually working towards progress. I think the best is still to be seen with us offensively, defensively, and in the kicking game. We're always trying to make strides forward, and some of that could be personnel related, some of that could be scheme related, depending on the opponent we're playing. So we're always looking. I mean, you're always competing, and we're always looking for an edge, and we'll continue working towards that. And our goal is to, like I said, we're trying to be at our best and play to our potential. I don't believe we've done that yet. I think it's still in front of us.
Playing off that, are there any specific areas you feel like the team needs to shore up or focus on going into that home stretch?
Well, I thought we were a little sloppy with the football, quite frankly, last Saturday offensively. And quite frankly, some of our guys, our 2s and 3s and 4s did a better job than our 1s in some cases. So the turnover margin, that's one of our keys to victory, and ball security and ultimately ball possession. We need to shore up to a degree. That being said, we've also thrown the fewest interceptions in the country.
Any surprises about this year's team so far?
No. I will say, I think one of the challenges is we've had more injuries than we had a year ago. We've had some significant injuries, particularly up front. We've only played with the same offensive line, in consecutive weeks one time this year. So we've had to shuffle the deck and keep shuffling the deck and reshuffle the deck. And I've been pleasantly surprised at how well we performed up front, considering all the line shifts and changes we've had from tackle to tackle. So I'm hoping this week we can get our true one unit, with the exception of Tyler Evans, who's out for the year, who was injured in the Westchester game. I'm hoping we can at some point establish some continuity up front, and the guys get used to playing with each other. That'll just make us a more cohesive unit and a better unit, a more powerful unit. But I've been pleased with how it's transpired, and I think we'll only keep getting better if we can keep guys out there.
The plan is to have almost that entire starting 5.
We should. Like I said, it's Tuesday, and we have work to do this week in practice. But I would think, with the exception of Tyler, who's obviously not coming back, everyone else will be available and be ready to play here in a big contest here at home. Okay, with all that being said, I appreciate everyone's support here today. Appreciate the support of Bear Nation here, not only today, but in the past, and looking towards the future. Speaking of the future, this Saturday, big game, us and Wingate, regional television, homecoming here at Lenoir-Rhyne. Get there early, be loud. Go Bears.